you went to law school, right?
Yeah, yes. So I'm Master of Law, so it's the title.
Yeah.
I was working a little bit in a law firm for about just a few months because I wanted to focus on StarCraft, and now I'm working on my own with laws for basically for friends when they ask me for something big. I do some immigration law to US. I do some what is the name, like civil contracts, yeah, like just stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty successful with. I have NDA with most of my cases, so I can't really share any details. But let's say I have better win rate in law field than in StarCraft.
Okay. That's great.
Hey, SC Historian here. Today we have a nice long conversation I had the pleasure to be a part of with Gerald. For those of you who might not be aware, Gerald is a very high-level Protoss player from Poland. He's got a few regional titles under his belt and is feared for his excellent late game. If you like what I do here, get subscribed so you don't miss out on future releases like this one. If you really enjoy what I do here, consider supporting me on Patreon. The link is in the video description. With that out of the way, let's jump in to my word with Gerald.
So, Gerald, thank you so much for taking the time today, man. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, and I really appreciate this interview too.
Yeah. I'm glad we were finally able to sit down and do it. You're one of those guys that I always enjoy chit-chatting with at events, so I knew that an interview would always go pretty well. So the customary question: how'd you first get started with StarCraft?
It was like 12 years ago or something like that. I'm not sure right now, but I was in my friend's house. He was just playing StarCraft, doing the party, and I was like watching, and I asked, maybe I can play better than him. So after he finished his game, I played 1 or 2 games, and I was like, wow, I'm enjoying this. So after I bought StarCraft, and I played, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 games, and I was like, okay, now I want to be a pro, and it's how it started.
That's insanely quick. So were you already kind of like familiar with the existence of the pro scene then?
Yes, because the thing, when he was playing, he told me he wants to be a pro, and he showed me some short YouTube video. I don't remember the player. I think maybe it was Mana, but I'm not sure. Some Polish player. It was really long time ago. And he told me there is some tournament and stuff. I wasn't aware how high level it is, but yes, I knew there is something.
Sure. Do you feel like you started looking up to the Polish pros early? Like, was there a sense of national pride when it came to pros for you?
Not that much. Like when I started, my favorite player was Liquid Hero and J-Dong. So I mean, there was Nurture, Dystar, Mana, of course, people like this. But I mean, usually I root for Polish players, but not because they are Polish, but because we know each other. So
sure.
I just like them,
Yeah, as a personal relationship, that makes sense. Had you ever been really deeply invested or involved in any gaming communities before StarCraft?
Not really. Like I didn't play any game like that much. Closest to something like that was chess. I was playing a lot of chess. Maybe it's not gaming.
Sure.
But I was playing chess a lot. I was going on some tournaments. I got some points to my high school from it. In reputation. But it wasn't that deep as StarCraft. I didn't want to be a pro.
Why do you think StarCraft has, remained such a significant part of your life? What about the game keeps you so connected to the game?
There is a few things. First of all, I feel like I can always improve something, which is important for me. Like, I feel progress. It's nice to progress. Second thing is like, I like the complexity. So there is more than one way to play. You can a little bit express yourself in your play style. Like I'm more defensive. I don't like to attack. Yeah, I just love to build big economy and just go late in the game and stuff. Yeah, I find StarCraft gives me the opportunity to show this part of myself. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
how do you feel StarCraft has impacted you as a person? Like, is there any part of, the way StarCraft has made you grow as a person that impacts your life outside of the game?
yeah, there is a few things. Like, first of all, I was very shy before. I had a problem with some public speeches and stuff like this. And during the StarCraft career, I had to play on stage. I had to give some interviews. I had to go to international events. Yeah, so it helped me a lot with that, and also it helped me find my limitations. Like, you can't always be the best.
Yeah.
You sometimes, even if you try very hard, you can't accomplish something, but it doesn't mean you shouldn't try. Yeah, so, but it helped me in this part of my life. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like StarCraft players learning to lose is a really important thing, right? And I feel like a lot of people don't get to experience that. So yeah, I think that's like a significant thing, like what you're saying, right? Like, sometimes you put your heart and soul into it, and it just doesn't work out, But like, that's a very difficult thing to learn, I think, outside of a game like StarCraft. So you grew up in Poland, right?
Yes.
Where in Poland?
In Kraków, it's like second biggest city in Poland, 50 kilometers to Katowice.
Yeah. How do you feel like growing up there impacted you?
Like, Kraków is pretty cool city. I think I find it the best city around the world. Like, it's like not the small city. It's 1 million population, but it's also not super big.
Yeah.
But it has some vibe of small city. Like, it's really easy to just find some of your friends on the street and stuff like this. I'm not sure it developed me in some way. Maybe the thing it's also touristic city, so I met a lot of people there from other countries, so it helped me a lot, a little bit with contacts later in StarCraft scene, but yeah, it's just about that.
Sure. What was your family life like growing up in Krakow?
Yeah, so I was a family person. I have sister, and for first, I don't know, 8 years of my career, I was living with my parents during my study and high school. It helped a lot because, like, they were supporting my career. They didn't say it's like, this sport is like, it's not important, or you should focus on something else.
Yeah.
No, they were helping me. They had some passion. They were watching my tournament runs even late in the night. So it helped a lot. Yeah.
That's great. I feel like we're really only like one generation separated from parents who were really repressive about gaming, right? Like, gaming was viewed as a waste of time, and even for our generation, it's quite true. So it's super interesting dichotomy, right? We're like completely different family perspective on gaming.
Well, yeah, I mean, my father is a gamer. Actually, he's playing more than me.
Okay.
I mean, except StarCraft. Because it's hard to compare.
Of course.
Yeah, but yeah, he's playing a lot. Mostly like Baldur's Gate and RPG games.
Sure.
But yeah, he's single player.
Was he like a Dungeons and Dragons guy growing up?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense. This is obviously a very strong connection there. So when it comes to your career, you've been on the come up over the last like 5 years or so, establishing yourself as a pretty high level European talent. Is there a particular moment in your career that you view as the most significant or important to you?
There may be 2 or 3 moments like this. probably my first international event. It was pretty big for me, like finally play on the stage. It was DreamHack Young Shopping years ago. I don't remember exactly which year.
Sure.
Second was top 6 on DreamHack Europe. It was super big for me, like it was my best run. I won over Elazer, who was best Polish player then, against Lambo. I did a really good run. I was super proud on myself, and I was like, okay, now I finally found the result I was looking for. And I think first time I won Polish LAN. It was also big. It's always nice when you win offline event, even if it wasn't the biggest one. Yeah,
sure.
It's still nice, especially when the Polish crowd was looking on it. It was amazing for me.
So obviously early on in your career, you know, like we mentioned, there were Polish juggernauts like Nurcio and Mana. And then, you know, as you became a more significant player, there were still people like Elazer and Spirit. But you seem to have emerged as a very top tier, arguably, you know, best or close to the best Polish player. Is there a specific moment in your mind where you feel like you know, sort of reach that level to be able to be competitive with other high-level Polish players?
I think it was like, I mean, I would say like I was winning against them like for years, but it wasn't like frequently.
Yeah.
It was like I will win one series per 10, maybe per 5.
Sure.
Yeah, but at some point I just, I would say like maybe 1.5 years ago, I started to watch more replays. I think more about my gameplay than just practicing like that much. It was more about theory craft. So after that, I found my weakness in no execution, but about some game
sense.
Game sets, yes, exactly, yeah. So after that, my win rates against them went pretty high, yeah. So I think it was the moment for me.
That makes a lot of sense. What do you think separates the, you know, obviously very mechanically sound and talented players like yourself, or say, I don't know, Showtime or Zound, like people who are very good but not quite at the top levels, from the people who are winning major events? Like, I don't know, what separates you guys?
So of course race, but you know I'm Protoss, so we just can't. But except of that, I feel like it's some kind of mindset, because when you are there are two things. First is mindset. So if you are losing consistently, at some point you think you can't win, and so even if you are winning, in the back of your head is like, I'm gonna to lose this series anyway, yeah, and it's a big factor.
Yeah.
And the second thing is like, I would say something like killer instinct. So if you watch Hero, at some point, usually he just attack, and it doesn't even look that strong.
Yeah.
But he wins.
Yeah.
Yeah. He exactly knows when. Yeah.
I feel like Dark also has this ability. Yeah.
Serial.
Parting.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think it's really hard to find this.
Yeah.
Clem also.
Yeah.
It's the thing. It's not like they are better in mechanic. I mean, actually, Serial and Clem maybe. Yeah. But like, for example, Dark or Gumiho, maybe they are not that good mechanically.
Yeah.
But they were still absolutely beast. I mean, they are.
Yeah. The results show it, right? Yeah.
Yes.
No, that's. Yeah, it's a fascinating concept, because I agree. I think sometimes you analyze two different players and they look to be on a relatively similar mechanical level, but one of them can find a lot of success and the other can't. It can be a bit confounding to think about. So we talked about, you know, your proudest moments. Are there any losses that, you know, really stick with you over the years?
Not really. I mean, I had some I was super disappointed about. Like usually when I was losing in qualifying match for some big event, maybe two. One is not like exactly one moment, but always when I was losing in World Team League, I was feeling bad because, okay, I lost. Maybe I was playing bad or good, it's not important, but the thing is, because of me, my team lost the point, yeah, and other players, so I always feel bad when my team is losing something because of me.
Yeah.
And second thing, it's not like, again, it's not exactly one moment, but I'm pretty sad I didn't play in IM Katowice on big stage ever. Yeah, I really wanted to. I was closer and closer to the years, but then like when last IM Katowice there was no open bracket, and then it was really tough to to get there. So I was just sad about this.
So you talked about representing teams. You represented a number of teams over the years, but I think PSISTORM sticks out as one of the teams you stuck with for a pretty long period of time. What was your experience with them like?
Well, first it was Exxon team, yeah, and then they merged into PSISTORM. So I was with Exxon. So it was really long, let's say, partnership even. It was really good team. I couldn't complain. The crew, I mean the team owner and the admins and everybody were super friendly and helpful. They really care about the game. Yeah, I'm grateful for them because they support me for a very long time.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just a very good team.
So moving into the modern era, obviously you recently signed, or relatively recently signed, with Streamerzone. How did that come about? How did you get connected with them?
So my contract with PSISTORM just finished. Yeah, I think it was November last year, and I just wrote the tweet, "I'm looking for a new team," and the owner of this new team, Streamerzone, reached me on Twitter, or X right now. And he just asked me, am I interested to join this team? We were talking for a bit, and then I joined. It was like that. I think it was like 1 week after my contract expired, so very, very fast.
Yeah, sure. I mean, that's great to not be teamless for too long. Now you're teammates with SOS, having picked him up recently. What does that mean to you as somebody who's been following the scene for a long time?
I was a big fan of SOS for a long time, and he was very inspiring for me, especially because he's one of these players. I think he's not that fast or mechanically given, yeah, but he's still absolutely beast. Like he has this killer instinct for sure.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool to be his teammate, and I hope he will show me some builds like all the time.
Yeah. That would be awesome, honestly. It's so great to have him back into the scene, and obviously Streamerzone's a big part of making that possible for him. So it's certainly a great thing for the scene, but obviously for you and your teammates as well to have such a legend, veteran status guy on your squad. So we had a pretty long hiatus without StarCraft tournaments lately. What did your life look like during the time period?
I was trying to place all the small cups first of all, because I was believing in eSport World Cup to return this year, so I didn't want to get out of shape.
Yeah.
Except of that, I finished my study. I was studying law, and I got my diploma. I was doing some job connected to it. Like I was working as a lawyer on my own. I started company with my friends in eSport field. We are trying to organize some eSport events, especially in StarCraft, but not only. And also I was helping with some kind of stuff like production with esports events, except this company.
Yeah. Another thing that you sort of had mentioned to me privately, although I guess this is public information as well, is that you did some production work for EWC and for ESL. What does that look like? What have you done for them?
Yeah, for ESL I was working as a caster doing IEM Katowice on Polish cast, and I was also working for EFG on Esport World Cup in Riyadh as in-game director on Stream B. So basically, this is a different job. Caster is caster, yeah. So I was just casting with Elaser, Zed, and Aristory. Yeah. It was quite cool. I was enjoying it. A lot of fun. I think I gave a lot of knowledge for Polish viewers, and I had good insight about Protoss matchups. Yeah. In Esport World Cup, it was a little bit different. I was in-game director. It's a person who is responsible for elements on the transmission. So basically, I have control what to show on the stream. I can decide when to tune on picture-in-picture when I want to show some graphs with unit loss and stuff like that. Player's camera for reactions, everything you see on the stream.
Sure.
Yeah. It was pretty fun job. A lot of focus needed, but I enjoy it. And also, I think, because when you watch a lot of StarCraft and you have good understanding of the game, you can feel when player is going to have some kind of reaction.
Yeah.
So I was pretty good with catching this moment. Yeah. With also showing this graphs in like crucial moments. Yeah. I think I did quite a good job.
Yeah.
I'm proud of it, actually.
That's great. I think it's so important for the viewers. I think creating a sense of drama and hype is, that's what esports is about, right? So the only reason people care about this stuff is, yes, the gameplay, but they care about the players, they care about the stories, right? And I think that job specifically, more than many others, is very directly responsible for helping to convey those emotions and those stories from the players.
I remember, for example, when I was in-game director in Bian game, and Bian is very emotional player.
Yeah.
So he had a lot of reactions. So it was very. I don't want to use word fun, but it was fun, like catching these moments. Yeah. I feel like it was a lot of adding value to the transmission.
Absolutely.
Because of that.
No, it adds a tremendous amount of value. So another aspect of your life that's pretty much completely unrelated, but also fascinating, is you went to law school, right?
Yeah. Yes. So I'm Master of Law. So it's the title.
Yeah.
I was working a little bit in a law firm but just a few months because I wanted to focus on StarCraft. Mm-hmm. And now I'm working on my own with laws basically for friends when they ask me for something big. I do some immigration law to US. I do some what is the name, like civil contracts. Yeah, like just stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty successful with. I have NDA with most of my cases, so I can't really share any details. But let's say I have better win rate in law field than in StarCraft.
Okay. That's great. And you have represented some StarCraft players during their negotiations. We maybe can't say who, but you've done that.
I was representing StarCraft players, also StarCraft producers, and people just connected with StarCraft.
Yeah.
I can't say names, but some big names too.
Sure. That's fascinating. And one thing I find with StarCraft people is like no matter what they do in life, somehow it it circles back to StarCraft, whether it's professionally or just something that's, something that gives them more insight on the game. Somehow, it just seems to always tie back into StarCraft.
I find it somehow funny because, like, very often, even if something is really not related to StarCraft, but the guy he heard about my background. He heard also about StarCraft, or he was playing StarCraft, and then there was some kind of positive attitude, and it helped me. So
it's funny because the public perception of StarCraft like helped StarCraft and hurt StarCraft both so much because. On the one hand, when it comes to players, I think a lot of people are way too intimidated by StarCraft and they don't want to touch the game because they think, oh, StarCraft is for psychos who just, they have 5,000 actions per minute and whatever, right? Like this is the way that people see the game. But on the flip side, I think like Toby Lutka with Shopify is like an excellent example of somebody who enjoys the game and understands the game and understands that somebody who reached even like a semi-professional level in StarCraft is a different type of person, is a different type of human. Somebody who can climb the StarCraft ladder is somebody who has, extreme attention to detail. It's somebody who has extreme work ethic, and it's somebody who knows the value of iterative improvement and internal analysis, right? And I think those qualities are so valuable no matter what field you're in. And I think there's a lot of people like what you were saying that recognize that. They hear, that's interesting that you have this degree or whatever. Oh, but you play StarCraft. That's very different, right? Like that's a totally different perspective.
Yeah, it's true. Like I don't think I even once got like bad feedback because I was playing StarCraft. Like I always had like neutral or friendly attitude because of that, and I find it pretty nice. Like most of people who at least tried to get higher leagues in StarCraft, like they really respect the work you had to put into it, to get there. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. How did you feel when the announcement finally came that we were going to get the events, but there had been a lot of reductions, ESL was moving out of StarCraft, and it was obviously a very abbreviated season?
I mean, of course it was said the season is smaller, I was happy about eSport World Cup finally announced, and about there is some offline events except this one. I feel like it gave me some extra motivation to practice and to attend all these events. I mean, not offline events, but these online cups. So overall, I'm just happy and slightly sad about the downsizing. It's just about
No, it makes sense. It's hard to feel anything else, I think, right? Like, of course, everybody's happy it's back, but it was also quite bittersweet, right? So you mentioned briefly that you started up a company with one of your friends. Tell me about that. What are your goals? How do you know him?
So we were friends in high school. Actually, he was one of my best friends and still is. Obviously.
We're enemies now. We started a company together.
So he is working in game dev field, and we found the idea to make some company doing esports events in Poland. So because we feel like there is some space for new quality actually. First, we want to make some event in Kraków because it's both of us home city. It's going to be quite big, like StarCraft LAN plus StarCraft 2 LAN and Tekken, Street Fighter and eSport. I mean EA Sports.
The soccer game.
Yeah, I mean FIFA. Yeah. So now it's
new version,
EA Sports 25, I think is the name. Yeah, they rebrand after.
Yeah.
So we want to do this. We have like big venue. We have everything prepared. Announcement soon. Maybe it already announced
when this goes up.
Exactly. And our goal is our first step, and the idea is to make it every year event. Yes, and also make another league except of that. So some league, like 9 months league between these events with some very grand final.
Yeah.
With very big crowd.
Yeah.
It's the goal for the first few years, and then maybe expansion outside of Poland, in offline events.
Yeah. These are huge goals. It sounds like there's a lot in the works.
Yeah, it's ambitious, but I think, I mean, we have a good contacts in esport. He has good contacts in game dev, and with some companies connected to game dev. So we feel we can do this, and right now everything is going pretty smooth. So with the first event, so I'm happy about that.
Yeah, no, I mean, of course you should be. Has there been any pushback about the inclusion of StarCraft, given that the scene is, not quite as large as some of these other games?
Not really. Like, it wasn't the issue at any point. Like, basically, from 3 reasons. Like, first of all, the StarCraft has some special status. It's, to be honest, it's the only RTS which is that big and that good. No offense to Age of Empires fans. But second, it's the only, I mean, not only, but the biggest 1 versus 1 game right now. So it's much easier to organize tournament in it. It's also the big, maybe plus for it. And first of all, in Poland, especially, we have still big StarCraft 2 scene. Yeah. And we have a lot of passionate about StarCraft players and viewers. So we didn't feel like there's any problems with it, especially because our goal is not only online transmission, but also people on site.
Yeah. And Katowice historically has had a great crowd for StarCraft.
Yeah, exactly. Last year, they couldn't fit in this area.
Yeah. And it was rather large. Yeah, it wasn't a small auditorium.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I was very impressed as well. Like I knew that there were pretty good crowds in America for StarCraft, and even that is a bit of a surprise to some people in the modern sense. I think DreamHack Atlanta 2022 was that was the first American LAN we had in a couple years since the end of BlizzCon, right, post-COVID. And the crowd there was enormous, and people thought maybe that was a fluke. But then they did Atlanta again, and the crowd was huge. And then they did Dallas, and the crowd was huge. And then they did Katowice, and the crowd was huge. And they do the events in China for Stars War, and the crowd is huge. It sounds a little repetitive to say, but StarCraft is in such a weird place because it feels like there is like a tremendous audience and a lot of support, but at the same time, it feels like the rug's been pulled out from under the scene kind of repeatedly.
Yeah, one thing I read was, numbers on Twitch are worse right now than it was like, 1 year ago, but on YouTube, they increased because people were looking for high quality StarCraft content. Yeah, like so they were watching Uthermal videos, Loco. Yeah. He made best month ever, like this year. Yeah, without any events, only on some StarCraft related content. Yeah. So because of that, I feel like there is still place for big StarCraft tournaments, new big StarCraft tournaments. We just need to find, the venue, some sponsors, and make
and a couple $100,000.
Yeah, exactly. and host it.
Yeah. No, of course. And Uthermal is a crazy example too, right? Because he got 100,000 YouTube subscribers in 1 year, right? Like he had no following on YouTube and got 100. Like these are huge numbers. Like again, is it Mr. Beast level? No, of course not. Like, but not at all unsustainable, right? And I think he's seen pretty significant growth from there.
Yeah. I mean, he has very quality content, and I'm not gonna lie about this. I enjoy it a lot. I watch some of his videos.
Sure.
And he's very creative too. Also, he hosted his own 2v2 league in StarCraft. From the money from YouTube. So he's trying also to help the pro scene at some point. It's pretty cool. Other StarCraft YouTubers like Mana or Hearthstone also better numbers right now. I think, especially Hearthstone. Very good content.
Very good content.
Very good content. So I think there's like before you have some StarCraft channels like StarCraft Highlights. I think
SC2 HL.
Exactly. So it's like we hadn't any offline events, so they couldn't find new content. It was the issue, but I believe with the content it will be still a very big channel. So
and obviously Loco being the sort of godfather of StarCraft YouTube these days. One thing I think is so fascinating, right, is if you look at somebody like Day9, who was very big on YouTube, is still very big on YouTube and Twitch as well. And he was, a StarCraft superstar at a time when StarCraft was on top of the world. But Loco has not only surpassed him in subscriber count, he's also surpassed him in views, like overall views, which is, again, you can't quite compare people directly, but other things like that as well. Like if you look at the top of the earnings leaderboards for pro players and stuff like that, so many of them are from the modern era. All these old school guys have sort of dropped out, but all of these creators have popped up and created giant careers and borderline empires, and players have risen up to become hugely successful and make lots of money. All after people said StarCraft was dead, right? Like the people said the game was over, and people were able to sort of prove that wrong in a big way.
I mean, I had this, the StarCraft is dead like for 6 years.
I feel like I've been hearing this since 2013. Like it's which obviously was preposterous, right, at that time when things were huge. I remember hearing Artosis talk about this, like in like 2000, they were like, "Oh, Brood War is dead. Brood War is dead. Like nobody cares about this game." And here we are, 27 years later, with still a very robust, if localized to South Korea, scene, but nonetheless quite a robust scene.
I mean, yes, Brood War is like really strong. Especially they have good numbers, like Brood War streamers, and stuff,
they dominate the soup, which, if you're not familiar, is obviously you are, but for the viewers, is the predominant or the only real streaming platform in South Korea. And despite the fact that Brood War is as old as it is, a lot of the absolute largest streamers are still Brood War streamers.
It's true.
And of course all the StarCraft Academy and all that. But that's neither here nor there. So over the last few years, there have been a few RTS games that have popped up in development, namely Stormgate and Battle Aces, Zero Space, Tempest Rising, and several of those were sort of pitched as the spiritual successor to StarCraft. Did you spend any time in any of these games?
I was playing Stormgate, Zero Space, and Battle Aces. Didn't try Tempest Rising. I heard good thing about this, but didn't try. Overall, I found a lot of good elements in every single every single one of these games. But like always when I were playing them, I was feeling something is missing. Like, for example, I don't know, Stormgate, like very smooth micro, and I mean maybe not micro, but it was very smooth. Everything was very smooth. Like, you know, the movement of
the snowplay thing.
Responsibility. Yeah, it was very good, very good. But like, I found it very unclear what is happening on the screen. I didn't like units design and stuff.
Mechanical design or aesthetic?
Aesthetic.
Okay.
But it's also important for me. Like, you can say it's not important. It's just like, you know, some kind of like, you know, it's just some units. Yeah, but the thing is, if you think that way, you can just make them circle.
Yeah. Circles and squares and triangles.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think design of units is very important. Like in StarCraft, every unit has some very unique design, which is, I think, quite beautiful actually. Like Zero Space also very good elements, like the map control, and the like some mechanics for each race, it was, I was enjoying. And battle races, of course, is something different, micro heavy, which I was also enjoying. But every single time I was thinking like, why should I play this if I can play StarCraft?
Do you think these games have struggled as they have because of things like this?
Also I think the game industry is pretty hard right now because, like, in my opinion, one of the biggest issue was they went on market too early. Like they went with this open alpha. And I think you should just wait because people are used to open alpha is basically
release ready.
Exactly. And they weren't. Like they were very honest about what they are doing. And I find it somehow beautiful. But like, people didn't expect alpha being alpha. So it's the issue.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's definitely a very, very significant part of it. I think that's about what I had prepared for you. Do you have anything you want to talk about? Any closing words?
Overall, I wanted to say I thank you to my clan, to my family, to my friends, and all viewers which are cheering for me for over this all years. It gives me a lot of motivations, and also thank you to my girlfriend. I should say that earlier, probably, but don't worry.
You saved the best for last.
Of course. So thank you guys, and I hope I can deliver you very good results in next couple months, years, decades.
Rooting for you, man. Thank you for taking the time.
Thank you very much, and see you.
Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this one, be sure to leave a like and a comment down below. Get subscribed so you don't miss out on future releases like this one. If you really enjoy what I do here, consider supporting me on Patreon. The link is in the video description. That's all for now, my friends. Until next time.